it's been a day today. We have repaired the lawnmower once, did a little bit of mulching for the new garden that I'm putting in or getting prepared for the spring here at our lake property in Arkansas. And just as we were doing that, we got 3 or 4 trips around with the mulch on the garden and the belt breaks. So we had to go in to get another belt. Scott's gone to get the belt now, and so hopefully when he returns we can resume our afternoon collection of mulch to go in the garden. But we had to weld a small wheel, kind of a guiding wheel, or it guides the deck of the mower. And we went in town to buy a few things, and they had a garage sale that went from one town to another town to another town. So about 30 miles of a highway lined with everyone with their goods on this side of the road. It was pretty neat to experience. We have never gone to that before. And so that was a lot of fun this morning. We didn't expect that. And now we are grilling chicken for dinner. So it's been a very nice Saturday afternoon here. And we got several more things to get done this afternoon, but we'll try to turn on the camera and bring you along with us. But I'm going to walk down to the garden that I'm putting in. It's just a small section of it, but I figure if I can just do one section at a time and get it going, that's about all that I have time or energy for at this point with moving and trying to get the house to where it's in good enough shape for us to stay in. But anyway, I'll show you the garden now, and that way we can kind of track the progress of it. The lake is so nice and calm today. I'll take you down there after we get finished looking at the new garden area. We've not had any offers on our house that we have listed right now. We've been having open houses every weekend. We've been coming up here during the weekends, and it is quite the ordeal, I have to say, because getting the house ready after we've lived in it all week. On Friday, I spend most of the day cleaning, decluttering, rearranging, staging, and getting ready for the open house on the weekend. So hopefully we'll get an offer on it soon. Alright, so I'm going to turn you around here so you can see the garden. Okay, so this is the garden area. And let me give you a little bit of perspective. So there's the house. There's the lake. There's Mia. Hi, pretty girl. She's like, I've had enough of this gardening today, Mama. I'm ready to go lay down. Yeah, it's a pretty girl. Hi, Mia. So that's the north. And then we've got our driveway here. And the main road, or the dirt road that we live off of, is there. But anyway, so here is the garden space. And I think I measured it, and it is 26 by 74, I believe, or 84. I don't know, I'll get some better measurements and add them to the video when I get it edited. But I started out with cardboard. I actually had a friend of mine that has a tractor, and he came over and he tilled it up, broke the ground. As you can kind of see still down there, I don't have all the cardboard on there yet. But anyway, I had saw online where you could do sort of it's kind of like a lasagna garden, but you start with cardboard. And so I had grass here before like this. This one day will eventually be just one big garden all the way up there. I'm going to leave this fence line here open so that we can walk or get tractor up there. But it's sort of like, the method that I saw online was sort of like a lasagna garden, and You layer cardboard down to kill any weeds. We tilled, but I knew that there were going to still be weeds coming back up because we didn't till very deep. And then you lay the cardboard down, and then you lay leaves down, and then on top of that, you can either lay wood chips or straw. I'm not going to do straw or wood chips. I'm going to put the leaves down, and then I'm going to spread a thin layer of compost over it. And then possibly, if we have enough leaves, because we still have a lot of leaves on the trees, so I think I still have enough material to put a second thick layer like this is. I don't know if you can see how thick it is. It's about a foot deep in this section so far. But put a layer of leaves, then a layer of compost, and then another layer of leaves, and then cover it with black plastic. Is what the plan is. So if we can get the mower to act right for us, once Scott gets home with the belt, we can maybe resume this afternoon a little bit, or maybe first thing in the morning. But this is my new garden space, and I'm really excited to get it. We've got stumps, sort of like that one and that one. There's another one there. There's another one back here somewhere that we've got to either get burned out or dug up. But we're working on it. It is definitely a work in progress, but I think it's going to be worth it. I know it's going to be worth it. I've had gardens for years, and when I lived in Texas for about 16 years, I had raised beds there because all that we had there was a type of soil called gumbo. And so it was not very good for gardening, but so I created raised beds, and I had a rabbit tree at that time, and so I had a lot of organic matter that could go in there. I had a lot of brown material, and so I just constantly layered it. As I cleaned the rabbit tree out, I would layer it in my beds. Then I would put straw or leaves and just some other compost. I really, at that time, could only find black cow compost, which I really, really love. And I have not found it here yet. I know that it is here in our state because it's in Shreveport, Louisiana, but I haven't found it here in Arkansas yet. But I haven't really been looking for it because we've been focusing so much on packing and moving and just all of that stuff. So anyway, that is my little garden tour, which is really not a garden yet. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I love them all. I love watching Jess over at Roots and Refuge. I love Sarah over at what's the name of her? Living Traditions. And I also love to watch Constance over at Cosmopolitan Cornbread in her garden, and definitely love Jennifer over at the Stivers. I love their garden too. I just watch a lot of different YouTubers, and I'm always inspired by everything that they do. I've learned a lot, but I definitely love watching all of the YouTubers and learn a lot from them in their gardening. We have had a little bit of a garden. We mostly did a container garden in Shreveport, but for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been in school trying to get finished up with my degree, and so I have not had a lot of time to be out there like I wanted to. But anyway, I'm walking down to the lake so you can see how beautiful it is. It's just absolutely perfect today. Temperature has been about 72. The lake is calm as glass. It's as calm as glass right now. I wanted to get the kayak out. I have a really nice kayak that I have only been in once, and I flipped it in about 2 feet of water. hyperventilated, and yeah, it was not a good experience. Inflated my life vest. I had one of those that only inflates when contact with water. Yeah, it did that whole thing, and then about choked me because I was laying on my back and couldn't get my feet up because my pants leg was hung on um, one of the little hooks on the side. But anyway, lake is pretty low right now. And by the way, this is my neighbor's pier. We have a really good relationship with our neighbors, love them dearly, and I don't have a pier right now, so I come over here just to get the beautiful view on the lake. And this is the part of the lake that we live on. This structure that you see out here that extends 280 feet out into the water used to be my family's pier. I inherited this property from family. I have been coming here as we've used this as a summer camp for, since I was about 6 years old, been about 35 years. So I've been coming up here, and the pier just did not withstand the tornadoes that we've had come through here. And we had one guy take a chainsaw to it. So most of this section right here that went to the bank was cut out with a chainsaw because he didn't like looking at it. I'm glad he's no longer here. But this is the beautiful lake, and it is so calm today. It would be absolutely perfect if I could kayak today. Beautiful bald cypress trees that line it. But anyway, yeah, that pier used to be 280 feet long. It was the longest pier on the lake, and everyone knew this pier that ever did tournament bass fishing on this lake. There's a point that drops off about right here that's really good fishing. There are eagle's nests here in this tree, and in a tree that's further back behind it. Have always been eagle's nests in that tree. When we were children, we called that Eagle's Nest Point, or Eagle's Point. We grew up watching bald eagles flying around. We would bring the kids' friends up here, and they were just amazed at the view of the bald eagles. They had never seen a bald eagle in real life before. So that's our property over towards that way. Over that way. And hopefully, once we get the house sold, we will be able to rebuild our 280-foot pier to be the majestic pier that it used to be. That old pier was built out of telephone poles, and it had 2 by 12 by 10 braces. It was a massive, massive wood dock, pier, whatever you want to call it. But it is no more. A bunch of it is washing up here on the shoreline, and I would really like to get some of them and make a sign or make, there's some boards. I've got some right here, some right there. Anyway, I would love to get some of them and make some beautiful signs. I have a wood burning kit, so I'm thinking about doing that. So that might be a project that I post on here later when things calm down a little bit. There's another board. Oh, Mia, you're standing on it, honey. So anyway, that is a view of the lake. So that is a view of the beautiful lake. I love this time of day. This is my favorite time of day. I think it's probably about 6. It's probably about 6 o'clock, 5:45, 6 o'clock. And it's just getting cooler. There's no mosquitoes. Mia loves it too. She's running around like a wild pup. But anyway, that's a little bit of what we've done today. We will add some clips. We've got also have some other footage that we can add in here. And hopefully we'll be posting more videos for you guys to enjoy. We've just got to get all of our eggs. Get all of our, I'm not saying eggs. I guess I'm hungry. We just need to get all of our, we just need to get in one place, basically. I mean, it's rough. I don't know how many of you guys have done that. Lived between two houses. But it's definitely a challenge. But we absolutely love it here and hope that we'll be here full time very soon. So I'm out of breath walking up that hill from the lake. But we had, I think I'll post some video. I think we posted some video in the last video that we posted of a beautiful 8-point buck. And I hunt with a crossbow, so I can hunt from now or the second weekend or the last week in October through the end of February with the bow. So I've got my blind set up down there, but we've got a mama with 2 baby fawns that come up by the camera, and we have that 8-point and we have a 6-point, and I think we have a 4-point that's got only 1 tine on one side and 2 or 3 on the other side. He's a quite young buck. He's quite of a young buck, so I'm not going to dispatch him, but I am waiting on a large doe or one of those large bucks, and I'm sure I'll be posting that. But we have tons of wild turkey on this property, which I'm very excited for turkey season. So when Scott left a few minutes ago, he called me and said he'd just seen a flock of 15 turkeys on one of the oil roads that he passed, and we have had up to 9 at one time on our game cameras. So we're really, really excited about that. We also have a lot of wild hogs here. We've harvested 1 250-pound hog so far, and a couple of smaller hogs, juvenile hogs. But they didn't really have a lot of meat on them, nor a lot of fat. They were quite lean. It was during the end of the summer. But if I see any, they're fair game all year long here excuse me, in Arkansas, or the part of Arkansas that we live in. They need to be eradicated. They are pretty big nuisance right now here. And then we also fish. So we have an abundance here, and we're very thankful and very grateful that we have this property and are able to turn it into a homestead and live a more sustainable life for the last chapter of our lives, or the last last quarter of our lives, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm still getting used to making videos. My thoughts aren't as clear as they should be. So I apologize. We try to edit as much of that out as we can. But as I watch all of the different YouTubers, they are so polished, and I just aspire to be like them one day, where it just flows and they're just comfortable with whatever view they have of themselves on camera. Still getting used to that too, but I really enjoy making videos for YouTube. It's just getting past all of the awkwardness. You know, you kind of get a real view of yourself and some of the habits that are not as flattering, but you don't realize until you see them on camera. And I've got several of them that I don't like. But I laugh at myself and I say, okay, Tracy, we gotta do better next time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the view of my little garden, my little pre-garden tour, I guess I should call it. It's not really a garden yet, but I'm very proud of it, and I know what it's going to be next spring. I'm working on getting materials together so that I can have, I'm going to make one of those hog fence greenhouses like the Stivers and Living Traditions made for their chickens. I'm going to use that as a greenhouse. And I plan on having my own starts this year, which I'm very excited about. I've always bought them in the past. I've never really had room. I mean, I take that back. I've had room for maybe 1 or 2 trays because I was just planning in a couple of containers, but that's really not the amount of food that I want to produce. I want to produce about 300% more than that. So hopefully I'll get my little materials together to make my little greenhouse and have my starts, and I'll bring you along for all of these projects. We have not done a lot here yet, just because we don't know where we want everything, and we're just trying to spend some time, plan everything out so that we don't have to, down the road, move something or tear something down, or waste money on any kind of building material right now, especially with all the building materials being so expensive. So we're just taking our time, trying to plan out, see where the sun falls during the day, where we get the best sunlight, where water runoff is, where the animal trails are. We don't want to disturb those, or as little as possible disturb those. And just kind of see, you know, how, I guess what you call the lay of the land, just try to figure it all out. And so I'm really glad in one way that we have this time, that we don't have to move so hastily. We can just sit back and observe and plan. But I do plan on the greenhouse. Scott has a project that he wants to get done, and is building a lean-to for our lawnmowers and wheelbarrows and things like that, because right now currently all we have here is a storage, like a portable storage building, and it's full of all of our things that we've moved here, so there's not room for lawnmowers and wheelbarrows and, you know, things that we don't want to be exposed to the elements any longer than it has to be. But but it's all coming together slowly but surely, and I thank God every day that we have an opportunity to live this kind of life. And I'm looking at a big doe on the down the way. It's too dark, I couldn't possibly get a picture, but I could see her from here. Mia's already spotted her, but she comes out this time of day every evening. And we have a lot of oak trees on our property, and so we have some really large acorns and we have some small acorns, and we have several types of hickory nuts here, so that feeds a lot of the wildlife. I know it feeds the turkey and the hogs, and the deer also love the acorns that fall. We have patches of grass that we have planted for them just to eat. I guess they're called food plots, but it's just to keep them healthy so that they kind of stay in the area when it is time for us to hunt. We don't have to go too far. But anyway, I think my fire is about ready. I'm getting ready to grill my chicken and have a great dinner, and we will see you in the next video. If you like the content that you're seeing, please consider subscribing and press the like button and share our videos with all of your friends. Have a good night.